I take this video with so much joy in my spirit. I found it. I cracked the key to everything. Just want to take a minute to appreciate Connecticut and the indigenous people who originally set foot on the sand and what they named it and what they called it, this particular area of land. Incredible. God and heaven. That's up above. It's also inside you. Because now I'm talking to a greater public, a greater matrix. We are God. We have it in us. Everybody has a masculine, everybody has a feminine, therefore everybody has a god, and everybody has a goddess. Goddess is inside us. Goddess and universe. Right? So think of heaven as the external version of God, or the external version of the term masculine. Think of universe as the external zoomed out version of goddess or feminine. Yeah. When you merge the two, you get a divine union. You don't need to be outside in the world to have a partner, to have a relationship. You don't need that to have a divine union. It's right. Just got, I don't know what that was. A piece of grass nipped me. You get a divine union inside of yourself. And I don't care if somewhere in my brain doesn't like what I'm saying, because usually when you get noise in between downloads and profundness, it's because somewhere in the brain, usually it's the brain, it's usually the mind space, right? It doesn't know what you're saying. It gets confused. It gets scared. The mind space, the mind body. I say a body because the mind space has full anatomy, it has its full intelligence, it has its own consciousness, whatever. That is the closest to God, right? That's the closest to I almost want to call it the theory of God. It's closest not because it's high up, necessarily. That's one of the reasons maybe it's closer, obviously, to the heavens, right? But it's literally within the structure of the mind. If you are right hand dominant, right? Masculine energy rules over your mind, your brain, specifically your brain. The brain is part of the body of the mind, but the body of the mind itself is more masculine in nature, but it's a type of masculine. So is God and heaven, because they're like levels and tiers. Heaven is above God. Or more expansive God. It's like heaven is a place, God is inside heaven, and the mind body is like a I don't know. It's like an offspring of God. In theory, in reality, what I feel is reality, right? Heaven is its own consciousness too. It's not necessarily like a place. It has its own consciousness, intelligence, etc. It's just it's just such a zoomed out psychedelic version of God and just really masculine energy overall, really, that it's easier to call it a place. But these are all, think of them as like different people, right? They're all part of you. It's like you can get to heaven, but you do it in like through you. You can't get to heaven by dying on the outside. I guess you have to die on the inside, or you have to get to it in a way that comes from yourself. Because we all have a unique version of heaven. You know, if you watch near-death experiences, right? Almost always, like 99% of the time that I've watched videos of people talking about their near-death experiences, they always say that they go to a different place, or it represents itself differently. Heaven represents itself differently to each individual soul. And when I talk about soul, I'm talking about all of me. I'm not talking about the ethereal version, the metaphysical version. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about the physical body. I'm talking about the mind body. I'm talking about the heart body. Yeah. It's made out of 3 things. Spirit. If you ever heard like mind, body, heart connection, right? Usually there's like a spirit connection as well. In my personal opinion, spirit is like the fascia of everything. It's like it's outside of us. It's like the only thing that is actually outside of us. It's like the only thing. It's the web. I wouldn't even call universe the web. And so it's like this really crazy thing, really large thing to the mind that we're not going to get into just yet. Yeah, so spirit, some people call it the Holy Spirit, you know what I mean? But it just flows through everything and keeps everything connected. It keeps all of these separate souls. Again, the mind, body, physical body, or the mind, the heart, and the physical body. And keeps all these souls connected. Another level of expression, or to get deeper into what I'm trying to say. Everybody has a soul. Everybody has the physical, the mental, and the heart. We also have 2 other entities that make up who we are. We have God, and then we have Goddess. We have God and we have Goddess. I'm not going to say masculine, I'm not going to say feminine, because I feel like those are like titles and concepts to understand God and Goddess. But no, I'm talking about real God. I'm talking about real Goddess. And then another level up of expansion, from expanded perspective, or another level up of power. We have heaven and we have universe. Some people might say we have heaven and we have earth. I think everything works. I'm just taking the universe and I'm applying it to everything outside of Earth, everything within Earth, you know? So the terms that's been used to describe it in the past has been heaven and earth, but I call it heaven and universe. So, yeah. If you ever have wanted, say, a divine counterpart, you don't need it outside of you. You can find the satisfactory feeling of it. You can find it in general when you merge your God and your Goddess. When you merge your heaven and your universe. I can't even tell you or describe to you, it's the most amazing feeling. In my personal experience, I was only able to merge my God and my Goddess, and my heaven and my universe, when I merged the mental body, the heart body, and the physical body. or became aware of it. The heart body is a beautiful place to express yourself in, and to just express it. When I say express, I mean just exist in. It's a beautiful existence that is expressed. It is so profound in there, and I'm in it right now as I'm saying it. Notice how I changed. Notice how like everything about me changed. My face, probably my whole body probably changed. My whole energy changed. The way you perceive my energy changed. It's the heart. It's the heart. Everything in the heart space, bees, is healed. Everything is healed. Nothing, there's no density, there's no pain. It feels like bliss. It feels like bliss to a point where your tongue will feel numb. It feels like that type of high. Yes, it does. And the mental body, well, that's where you feel density. You feel what we describe as pain. You feel ache. You feel sensation. And then you can also see, hear, touch, everything of the sensory. With the heart space, you can do that, but you can see, hear, and sense and touch, but it's because the mind space is merged with the heart space in that way already. Some people, sometimes you have to grow or expand your strength of the mind-heart connection. Some people and some creatures, some beings can literally see love with their physical eye because the connection is that strong. Some of it can hear it with their physical ears. Some can taste it. I'm one of those people who can sensory feel it. So when I really get into the mind, I guess the mind-body space, yeah, but the heart space, really. When I get into the heart space, I really feel it. I feel it all around me and on my skin and inside my body. So I'm big into like the sensory aspect. And there's been a few moments where I've literally seen love with my fucking eye. Oh my God. This is making me start preaching. And I've never been in a religious place, like literally ever in my life. And it's like these types of spaces where, that part of religion where it's like the preaching and the feeling and like it's like, I want to call it the gospel. I don't know if that's correct. But it's like, that's where it, like, I feel like I understood it. I became to understand it. I became to understand the hype about it. I guess some people might call it when you feel touched by the Holy Spirit. Now, I call it touched by the being in the heart space. The mental body is so cool. I mean, I use it anyway, to talk. I use it to make sentences. If I was to talk in the heart space, I would just be laughing. I'd be dancing. It would be my body showing you how I feel. You'd be feeling my energy. Even from across the screen, you'd be feeling my energy. With the mind space, we hear and see people's energy. We use it to communicate a lot. Like, notice, right? The mind space up here. We have the voice box that is like literally, I feel a part of the mind space, but there's like a half and half point where it merges, as the heart space merges with the mind space. And these two consciousnesses, these two intelligences, they become, they swirl with each other right here. And that's how we can communicate love. That's why we can laugh. That's why we can, you know what I mean? As a human, right? with the physical body space. Now, I really don't need to describe a lot about the physical body space because, well, guess what? That's all it is. Everything you're visually seeing with your eye, this is all it is. The ecosystem of the space is your physical organs, your physical, ecosystem of your body, the bacteria, the skin, and in all of its complexity, all of the biology, all of the everything. That's the physical body. As a reference, the heart space body and the mental body is just as complex as the physical body, and that should not scare you, but it should, boom, because it did for me. And it's still up to this period right now, and it just goes to show how much we really have to explore. We have so much to explore with these two spaces alone. And you're telling me we have a God and we have a goddess, and then we have a heaven and we have a universe? Please. Absolutely, please. There's so much to explore. If anybody has ever seen a movie where somebody, I forget, it's a very specific movie, but essentially this woman or female presenting character, she gets control over her entire brain, 100% of her brain. And shit gets wild. It gets crazy. We're talking full control of her surroundings, and then also the surroundings of others. And usually I think that a lot of stories there's truth in them all the time, 100%. And so maybe that would happen if we had 100% of our brain, but that also means that would be the 100% of the mental body. Just what is it even like as 100% of the heart body, right? What is it like 100% of stepping into the God empowerment or the goddess empowerment, and then heaven and then universe? Oh, it's makes me excited and emotional as somebody who, I guess, as a philosopher. This experience is so cool. Just the experience alone of just recognizing these elements about me, about, I guess, us in general. And it's so cool that nobody can be generalized by this. Yes, we might all have these. Some people might have more. Some beings might have more. Some other animals might have different ones, right? That's why some animals probably can see colors that we can't, right? It's the depth that we are able to experience is so incredible and amazing. The biggest experience that I've had after all of these realizations is the mind and heart connection. I think we know a lot about our mind and body connection. I mean, me just moving my fingers because I mentally said so too is the mind-body connection. Some people don't, and that's okay. Some people have areas where they're weaker. I wouldn't even call them blockages, but some are more some can, it's kind of hard to describe actually, because we're always sensing it, but some put it into action. Some people have areas where they interact with it, and some people have areas where they don't interact with it, when it comes to these bodies, right? Realizing that the heart body exists has been life-changing experience for me, because I realized that I don't need to look anywhere else for my healing besides right here. And okay, now all the new age stuff is making sense. Okay, now all this you only need yourself is making sense, right? It's funny because when people would say, oh, you only need yourself, I would feel really lonely. I would feel the feeling of loneliness and like a gaping ache inside of me somewhere. That's how it presented for me. And I asked myself, like, okay, what else is there then? If, you know, if we only need ourselves and we don't actually need to interact with the world, like, what else is there? Well, I didn't realize that there was so much more to explore as yourself. When the visualization of my heart body, so when the mental body merges with the heart via mental visualization, and I expand my heart, or perceive my heart body expanding into my physical body or within my physical body, there's so much, the only word I could describe it, love and healing that takes place. There's a series of, I guess, commands that I would use, is that, okay, I put my physical body into my mental body, or I put my, which honestly to me doesn't feel very comfortable. I put my mental body into my heart body, which feels very blissful. I put my physical body into my heart body. Ooh, and that feels just delicious. So yeah, and I kind of do those commands. Sometimes I'll say, I let my heart body heal my physical body. And with all of these commands, what are we utilizing right now? We're utilizing the mental body, right? Whether you're saying it in your head or whether you're saying it out loud, right? We're using the mental body to connect all of them. And some people can connect them without the mental, but that's just how I do it. I would be curious, and this is not an invitation, because I'm probably 100% sure if you've been watching this video, you're still watching this video, you probably have already tried this. But I would encourage people to try it, see what their thing is. And I would honestly not be surprised if your birth chart and astrology could tell you what you need to do it, just because that should be telling you everything. Side note, I keep seeing this plane come out of the sky, out of nowhere. So either I'm jumping like realities as I'm speaking, because it keeps popping out in the exact same place in the sky, and it just keeps coming out. And it's just so weird. Anyway. This probably the last aspect that I'm going to talk to us about, right? Is, okay, so the word soul, I generalize soul to the makeup of the three bodies. So it's not really like, okay, this is my one and only me. I guess you can kind of see it like that. But there's a little bit extra to this. Like, some people think of it as like a light ball, right? I think of it as extra like this, right? So it's almost like outside of the soul, right? Outside of this ball, if you need to think about it like that, there is another ball on top of it, and that is God. And here we come to the point where, or this philosophy that everybody is God, or everybody has the power of God, right? And so I do think this is true. Below this ball, right? This is your soul. Below you, below your soul, is the goddess. The reason that goddess is below the soul is not because she or they or this entity, this power, is less powerful, or this part of you, or this part of us is less powerful than God. They're the same, and that is crazy. They're the same. And this perception that it seems to be falling out of our culture, at least where I'm from, the culture. I think this perception is from not being able to sense places in the heart body and the mental body, and also the physical body. It's like our soul forgot about, like, all parts of our soul, forgot about the goddess down there. And that's okay. You know, I'm sure there's a grand scheme of it, you know, for it. But, yeah, so they're both in equal power. They do have different, in a lot of different ways, they literally do the same thing. Like, God does the same thing as goddess, in the way, like, creation. Goddess can create, God can create. It's just like what God will create will look different or function different than what goddess can create. Same level of power, same level of importance, but let's say, for example, you're tapping into your God self, and you you manifest, you I don't know why I'm laughing. There's nothing funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. That heart space, though. So you're manifesting something. Maybe I'm getting excited. I don't know. This is so cool. This is so funny for no reason. And I'm just gonna let myself do it. Feel free to laugh with me. Yeah, so there's this God, and you can manifest with your God, right? That stuff that you manifest, it might come in long term. It might take a long time for it to come in physically, right? If you want something to physically be instantaneous, the goddess is who you ask, straight up. And when I snap my fingers, I mean it. It's right like that, like right like that. And I think that the reason people talk about divine timing, which is like a polite way, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, of saying you just gotta wait for life to hand it to you after you ask for it, right? I believed in it for a while, and then I was like, oh, you know what, that doesn't really feel right anymore for some reason, right? And it's because the goddess energy, it really can be instantaneous. And the reason we haven't been able to make things instantaneously is because we're just now coming back to remembering our goddess body or our goddess potential, right? That's like the easiest way, the most human way, with my human brain as developed as it is right now, to describe the two bodies and how they differ. There's so much. Like, again, they're just as these two powers, these two gods, they, can I even call them, what's the gender neutral term for, like, gods? Godoses. I'm gonna call it demigods, because isn't that two god or something like that? Yeah, anyway, the god and goddess, right? The body of both of these is just as complicated as the physical body. It's just as diverse. It's just as a beautiful ecosystem. Like, we're talking crazy, right? Crazy. So there's so much for us to explore. Another thing that is cool about these two entities is, yes, you guessed it, they are attracted to each other in a way of, like, magnetism, right? Because they are equal to each other, but yet they complement each other. So it sounds like a beautiful mix, right? Because we kind of forgot about goddess, it's kind of like, it's not that she or it has been in hiding, it's just that, like, we haven't been aware of the relationship between our god and goddess, and how beautiful and fucking, yeah, the eyes, that's how it feels, right? It's like how it feels like, how, okay, let me take a breath, like, full body experience. It feels how it feels like wealth in all areas, just blown up, beautified, and just served on a silver platter in the biggest castle you could think of, in your loveliest dream. That's how it feels. It really does. It is literally the sum of the term heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. It's God on goddess. Or, you know what I mean? It's like when they unify, that car horn, when they unify, crazy shit. It doesn't just feel good, but it's the power of it. You have two manifesting bodies, that unbeknownst power. I will say that God is protecting the soul. We'll put it that way. God is above the soul. God can see over the soul. And if you were like a human that is looking at an anthill, right, you can tell what's going on maybe more than the ants can with their own two eyes, right? So the God aspect of you is looking out for you, literally, like above you, and can see things before they happen. That's where you get intuition, future type of stuff from. The goddess is below you. It's like, this is a crazy visual, but think of somebody looking up at you and can kind of like see through your physical body, like x-ray vision, right? And they can see all of your organs, and they can see everything going on with you from below, and then they can also see what's below you. So let's say think about the diversity of the ecosystem of inside Earth, right? That is what they're seeing. That's what that energy is seeing. And so that's why that energy is so profound in the way that it can just pop shit out for you. It's like earth bending. They just rise it from the dirt. They just literally bring it, and it just appears that it literally is it. And so we're talking like physical things. We're talking a dollar bill just shows up in front of you, or something like that. With God, it's more ethereal. It's yeah. It's more like they're watching you walk, and they're like pulling stuff out of your path. So goddess creates the path, or I guess in a way it co-creates with your soul to physically make the path. And then God will pick out all the noise, all the things that's not you, right? All the things that, doesn't have to do with your past. So God and Goddess are always working together for the soul. Like it's their kid. For real. It's their kid. So that plane again, bro. That plane again coming out out of nowhere. So yeah, that's how they function. And I might just leave it there. Like I said, heaven and universe, I'm gonna let other people decide about what happens with that, because I'm trying to decide what happens with that with mine. I have a lot to explore right now with these two entities already, and like all these three entities inside my body, and this satisfaction, this overwhelming satisfaction I have. Because another thing that happens when I merged my God and Goddess, or when I remembered the Goddess and then connected God and Goddess together, like if I imagine them holding hands within the heart body. That's another thing too. You can bring the God to the mental body. You can bring the God to the physical body. I actually have to sit here and I just felt it because I'm speaking about it, right? So I'm speaking it kind of, I'm rolling with it, right? And it felt like it felt like a clearing. It felt like detoxifying. Like I said, like they're like, okay, like I'll remove it. I'll remove it. Oh, God voice. Yeah, and so when you welcome goddess into your body, oh, we're talking kundalini. we're talking, it feels good. It feels, God feels like, oh, breath of fresh air. Goddess feels like, I'm gonna step out my way. It's not diva, it's not bad bitch. It's just step out my way. Like I'm growing like a beanstalk. I'm getting tall. Move. I'm here. Like I'm just like it's presence. It's presence. I forget why I started talking about this, but yeah, that's what happens when you welcome it into the physical body. And I'll invite other people to like just do it with the heart and the mental on their own time, because you can do that too with both entities. But so anyway, when you merge God and goddess together, it feels like loneliness is cured. It feels like you have everything you need, everything in the world. You couldn't possibly ask for anything else, and anything you do ask for, it's like, I don't know, I'll just create that because it's fun. There's no lack mentality. There's no anything left to do. It's just, I'm gonna enjoy this experience. It's also like when you need something, it's laid out for you. You could probably think about it, even if you're subconscious. You don't even need to think about it consciously, and it's just boom there for you. Crazy stuff. So I say all of that, and thanks for listening to my insights. Yeah, wish you luck exploring that if you choose to do that. Peace.